Welcome to Two Dudes, One Movie Podcast, the podcast where two dudes dive into cinematic masterpieces from a different decade each week. Right now, we're in between seasons, and so instead of our regular scheduled programming, we're here with something new. It's time for some debates, and our debate today is going to be a good one. It's, what holiday should the Grinch steal next? Rick, this is an interesting debate. I feel like there's a lot to be said with this. There's a lot of holidays out there that I think the Grinch could justify stealing, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say about it.
Gosh, I feel like this is one of the perfect debate questions, Park.
It really is. I'm really proud of us for coming up with this. Was this your idea, Rick, or was this mine?
You said something about the Grinch, and then I was like, how do we make... Because I always felt like the Grinch is definitely something that should be included in the debate. So then I was just trying to think of how should we debate the Grinch. I think this is a great avenue.
Yeah, and I think this is a fantastic avenue. If it wasn't Christmas, what would it be? Or what's next after Christmas, I guess. So here's how it's going to work. Both sides will get a chance to share their thoughts and opinions. And then we will have a short rebuttal session. After that, it's up to you. You decide who won the debate. So make sure to share, like, and comment who you felt like won today's debate. It's the only way for us to feel any emotional satisfaction after this. So we're really counting on all of you, all of our listeners out there, to make their decision known. Of course, the decision is always easy every week. It's going to be me, but we still need you guys to be a part of this equation. So thank you to everyone who has been doing that so far. We've been really enjoying these debates, and we hope to do more of them in the future, but with that being said, why don't we just jump into this right now?
Park, I'm going to dive right in. Are you ready for it?
Rick, I have been waiting all day to hear this one.
Park, it is none other than Independence Day. I know what you're thinking. Obviously, it should be Halloween or Thanksgiving. No. We don't need to care about Halloween or Thanksgiving. We basically have versions of that. We don't need it. Okay? Like Thanksgiving, you just have that one relative that comes over and eats all the food before it's ready. We have that. That's basically the Grinch. We don't need to talk about that again. So Independence Day, Park. Here's what I have, I guess, as my argument. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about it after I'm done. Here's a little synopsis. You ready for it? I wrote this. Even if it might sound like AI wrote it, but don't worry.
Please.
I wrote this. The Grinch thinks that if he steals the Declaration of Independence, then Americans won't celebrate this holiday anymore. He unleashes an all-out assault on Washington to carry out his dreams until a young child named Barack Obama decides to confront him. Is the Grinch a terrorist or just misunderstood? Park, the Grinch was living life, right? He was living life after he tried to steal Christmas. His heart grew 3 sizes, I believe. I could be mistaken. I believe it was 3 sizes. But capitalism made that shrink another 6 sizes.
Oh, man.
Park, that's all I got.
That's it? That's your argument? Capitalism?
Yeah, because he was against capitalism.
Oh,
he was like, hated these dang taxes, Park. He's getting tired of it. Getting tired of being a good person. And he was like, well, I don't need to change. I'm just going to go steal the Declaration of Independence because that'll teach those Americans about it. All
right. Well, that is something, Rick.
So the movie would be titled How the Grinch Stole the Declaration of Independence. You got to put Nick Cage somewhere in there. I don't really know where.
Maybe Nick Cage is the Grinch.
Or he's the young Barack Obama.
He's Barack Obama. Nick Cage is definitely Barack Obama. No question about it. All right.
Oh, my gosh.
Rick, that was an interesting point you had there. A very short point, might I add. You did mention the holiday that I think that he would steal next, and I think you mentioned it because it's a very logical holiday for him to steal. And Rick, that holiday would be Halloween. First and foremost, the Grinch has a serious case of indecisiveness. He couldn't even figure out what to wear to the Christmas party and decide he wasn't going to go. How in the world is he going to have the mental capacity to come up with a costume each and every year, Rick? That's exhausting. He's not going to do that. He's going to steal Halloween, probably just because of that. But, Rick, I have even more reasons to tell you why he's going to steal Halloween. And it's about costumes, Rick. Speaking of those costumes, the real reason the Grinch is going to steal Halloween is because think about all of the people who are going to dress up as the Grinch. That is so insulting and mean. It would be another blow to his ego, and I don't think he's going to stand for that. But hey, let's play devil's advocate here and say that he actually isn't upset with others dressing up as him. You can't tell me that the Grinch is okay sharing the limelight with other Grinches. No. The Grinch wants to be the only Grinch on the block. Ain't no way he's going back to being okay with a bunch of other folks running around pretending to be him. He is too narcissistical for that, Rick. I'm sorry. His heart might have grown 3 sizes that day, but that doesn't take away the narcissistic ego built deep inside you. Ask me. That is me. All right? Finally, Rick. Finally. I think he's going to get really annoyed with kids continually knocking at his door asking for candy. And every time he sits down on his lounge chair after he gets rid of a couple of kids, the doorbell's going to ring again, and he's going to have to trudge his way over to the door and make a mean face and scare the kids off. And I just don't think he has the ability to do that. I don't think he's going to want to keep doing that all night long, Rick. And I know he lives up on a mountain, but kids will do anything to get candy on Halloween. So I wholeheartedly believe that there will be children who will go up to the Grinch's house on top of that mountain, Rick. And because of all of those reasons, that's why I think the Grinch will steal Halloween.
Parker, I feel like he would enjoy kids going up there to see him because he'll just play little tricks on them every time. You think he's going to hand out candy? He's not going to hand out candy. He could shoot one off the top of his mountain. Shoot
Rick,
one little talent off.
I think
there.
anyone would have a little bit of fun at first, but continually every year having to deal with that over.
Yeah, but just
and
from
over.
like 6 p.m. to 7:30. This is not all night. You think kids are going out all night these days, Park? There's strangers out there.
Rick, there are plenty of kids going out late at night. Especially now you have the trend of like adult children going out trying to get candy for Halloween. Like there's going to be people knocking on his door all the way till midnight.
Park, I just think all is.
I want to cancel Halloween if people are knocking on my door at midnight. That's annoying.
I don't think people. I don't think they're going to do that, Park. Also, I feel like the Grinch, he would dress up. I feel like he really would like to go to Halloween parties and everyone's the Grinch. I feel like that's just a form of flattery to him.
And see, that's why I play the devil's advocate. I think
Right.
maybe he's not bothered by it, but he wants to be the one and only Grinch. He's not going to share that limelight with anyone, Rick.
Well, he wouldn't because he would have a different costume on. You think he's just going to wear it himself?
No, I don't think he's going to have a costume because he's not going to be able to decide on a costume because he's indecisive, Rick. See, it all is connected, Rick. It's connected. It's like that meme on the wall. It's all right there.
See, Mark, I think that over time, taxes are the real devil. It's what we've learned. You and I have been a part of this.
Well, you
hate-
can have taxes any day of the year. So why does that have to be Independence Day?
Honestly, that's what he thinks. He thinks he can take it on Independence Day and it'll kill taxes. I'm not saying it's logical, Park, but the Grinch.
But if he
as a
killed
character
taxes,
in
if
movies
he
is not
killed
logical.
taxes, wouldn't he almost be improving Independence Day because it makes us that much more independent from the government?
Well, I have a theory that he's communist in the end. So I don't think that. I think he would still take our independence after that.
So,
That's why the final line is the Grinch a terrorist or just misunderstood because you don't really know.
that's a good point, I guess. Rick.
And it's like during Christmas when he was stealing all those presents for himself, just like those communist governments. You go to Cuba, they take you 70% of everything. Park.
Now, it might take a little more than 70%, Rick. But either way, that's an interesting viewpoint to paint the Grinch as a communist. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but anything is fair in debates and more. Well, I think with that note, I think we can start to wrap this one up. A quickie, as I like to call it, a quickie from Ricky.
Oh no.
But we're gonna
Hate everything about that.
It was fun. All right, but we're gonna say goodbye on that note, everyone. Thank you again. You've been listening to Two Dudes One Movie Podcast, the podcast where two dudes dive into cinematic masterpieces from a different decade each week. Remember to like, comment, share. We need to know who won this debate. I don't know if Rick said enough words to have won this debate, but you all out there, our listeners, will decide on that. Until next time, we'll see you then.
What World War II leader do you think the Grinch is most like? Let us know in the comments.